Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'd like to show you part 9 of Charlotte's Universe. Charlotte's Universe has been designed by Deidre Ice from Look at What I Made, and in the video description you'll find a link to the pattern. In part 9 we're going to be completing this border around here. We started it already in part 8, and in part 9 we're going to be completing it. And if you want to know my color placement and which yarns I'm using where, you can also find a link to my blog in the video description. As such, the yarn that I'm using are several colors of Scheepjes stone washed yarn, and I'm using really a lot more color than in the original blanket because I just like color so much. But I'll take you step by step through all the rounds that make up part 9. I want to thank you for watching. Hope it's a useful video for you. Round 84, we're going to pick up where we left off in part 8, and you're currently with a slip stitch in the first single crochet of the previous round. Now we're just going to move with a slip stitch to the corner, and that means into the corner space, and I'm actually going to not slip stitch with the current yarn but with a new color because I just want to again change colors. Now the pattern uses the same color, so you don't need to do this color change that I am doing here. And now we're ready for the round. Chain 1, now this is not a stitch, and a corner is single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So in the corner space, single, chain 2, and another single. There we go. We're now going to start the straight edge, and the straight edge starts with a front post treble around the half double from 3 rows down, and that for me is the light pink row here, so the row with the popcorn, the second popcorn, that light pink half double there. So twice over, so around the half double, and I've already worked away my yarn tail, so this is a little tight for me, but if you're using the same color that will not be the case. So front post treble, 3 rows down. I'm going to skip 2 stitches to the back, and if you look closely, if you just pull everything to the side, you can see this is the first stitch, and that's the second, and then this is the third. And especially that first stitch, your corner may cover it, so really if you pull everything to the side, you'll see that first stitch. So 1, 2. So in the third stitch, I'm going to work a single crochet. There we go. You're now going to work a front post double around the treble from 2 rows down. So this treble here, the one that's for me, it's in the off-white. Work a front post treble, or a front post double around the front post treble. Again, skip a stitch to the back, and then in the next stitch work a single, and this is the stitch just before the popcorn. So 1, we're going to work 14 singles. Number 2 here falls in the popcorn, so number 2 falls in the popcorn, and now I need 12 more, so that's 1, 2 until I have 14. This is 3, 4, and the last one here, 13. There we go. So 13 single crochets. And now we start again a small repeat. We're going to, so where you should have finished now, by the way, is just before the chain space. So your last single crochet here falls just before the chain space, because now we're going to be working popcorns again. And we're going to do that by working a popcorn in, I'm just going to show you, in this front post treble here, but we're going to work not over the chain space. So what I mean by that is if I just insert my hook on the front post treble and then just kind of pull it out from underneath like so, that's how you're going to be working the popcorn. So so the chain space is to the back of your work, so you're going to leave that one unworked. So that means in the treble 5 doubles. And especially this first one, just pull that stitch from underneath the chain space. So that's 1, Usually when you have the first one in, the others go easier. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 double crochets, and then come back to the first one, insert your hook and pull through. After the popcorn, work a single crochet on the next 7 stitches, which will bring you to the next position to work a popcorn. So, that first one can be a little tricky, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last one, 7. 7 single crochets. And now your next stitch here is again the chain space. Now from the popcorn and these 7 single crochets, repeat this basically to the end. You're going to have 10 stitches left and then you stop. So repeat this. So I'll just get you started on the popcorn. When you insert your hook, be sure not to go all the way through, but you just pull that stitch out from underneath. So you just use your hook, just pull that stitch out from underneath the chain space, and then you're ready to start the popcorn. So a popcorn and then 7 single crochets until you have 10 stitches left. I've done quite a lot of the repeats, 20 of them, and at this point you should have 10 stitches left. So I've worked a popcorn and 7 single crochets. We're now going to work 7 more. So that's 1, 2, 3, both loops, 4. Number 5 here falls in the popcorn. This is single number 5. 6 is just after the popcorn, and 7. So 7 more single crochets. Now you have 14 here in a row. I'm going to finish by working a front post double crochet around the treble from 2 rows down. So this one gets a front post double, skipping a stitch to the back, then work 1 single crochet. So skip 1 stitch and work a single. I'm going to work a front post treble around the half double from round 81, and that's again here in the light pink. So this is 3 rows down, twice over, around that half double, work a front post treble, 2, 3. You have 1 stitch left. You're going to skip that stitch, so the last stitch you're going to skip, then come to the corner, which is a single, chain 2, and a single crochet. And that's the same as the corner we started with. So everything you just did, all these lovely popcorns, all this lovely texture, do this 3 more edges and close on your first single crochet with a slip stitch. Round 85. Currently in the first single crochet from the previous round, and we're just going to move to the chain 2 corner space with a slip stitch. And I'm again going to use that slip stitch to change colors to a new color. There's the yarn tail, and of course Deirdre does not change colors here, so if you're following the pattern, then use the same color to change, and do not change. The corner, chain 2, this counts as your first half double, then another half double in that same corner space, chain 2, and 2 more half doubles, 1 and 2. This is your first corner made. The straight edge. I'm going to skip the first stitch. This little stitch is kind of hidden here underneath the corner, and start by working a front post double around the front post stitch from the previous round. So around this front post treble, work a front post double. Then work a half double in the next, and that's going to be this single crochet that gets a half double. Yeah. The next stitch here is the front post stitch. I'm going to work a popcorn in there. So 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Open up that stitch, then come back to the first double, pick up your loop, pull through. Continue, and we work a half double on the next 11 stitches. So immediately this is the first stitch. So 1, we work 11, 2, and 11. There you go. 11 half doubles. Now we're going to start a repeat again that we'll do until we almost do the other side. I'm going to start with a front post treble around the front post treble from 2 rows down. So twice over, around the front post treble, work a front post 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip 1 stitch to the back and then work a half double in the next 4. So I'm going to skip that stitch, and then this is the first half double, so this is 1. The second falls in the popcorn. If you just push the popcorn to the side, there's the second, and popcorn to the other side, that's the third and the fourth. So 4 half doubles. Again, a front post treble around the next front post treble from round 83, so 2 rows down, 1, 2, 3, skip 1 stitch to the back, skipping that stitch, and then work 2 half doubles, so 1 and 2. And this is the repeat, starting at this front post, 4 half doubles, front post, 2 half doubles. Repeat this until you have 13 stitches left. So you're now going to work a front post around this front post, then 4, then the next front post, and 2 half doubles. And remember to skip your stitches to the back. So repeat this until you have 13 stitches left. I've worked the repeat until here, and at this point I have 13 stitches left. I'm going to start by doing 9 more half doubles. So you've already worked 2 here, so you're going to work 9 more, and then you have 11, so just like on the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There we go. I did that a little quicker, but 9 half doubles. Your next stitch should be the front post stitch. I'm going to work a popcorn in there. So we start with 5 doubles, as we always have for the popcorn. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 doubles. We open up the working loop, come back to the first double and pull through. A half double in the next stitch. This is a single crochet here. It gets a half double. Now we're at the front post stitch. Oh, just remember to mark this stitch. Almost forgot. I'm just going to open up this loop. So mark that stitch. There we go. So that half double. And now we continue with a front post double crochet around the next stitch. Front post double crochet. Going to skip the last stitch. You have one stitch left. This single, we're going to skip that and then come to the corner, which is a 2 half doubles. 1, 2 half doubles, chain 2, and 2 half doubles. 1 and 2. There we go. And this is of course the same as the corner we started with. So everything we just did, repeat all the way around, and on your first stitch, that's the chain 2, close on that stitch with a slip stitch. Round 87, oh sorry, 86, around 86, I'm going too fast. We're currently in the chain 2, which was the half double from the previous round, and we're just going to slip stitch to the chain 2 corner space. Just grab my yarn. That means a slip stitch in the next half double, and then a slip stitch into the chain 2 corner space. And I'm just going to change colors here. If you're using the same color as the pattern, do this slip stitch in your same yarn. So I've just changed colors, and now I can continue with the pattern as normal. We're going to work a different corner in this round. It's going to be 2 doubles, a popcorn, and 2 doubles. That's the corner. Now we're going to start with a chain 3. This is your first double crochet, and then do another double in the corner. So that's 2 doubles, and now a popcorn. And now it's important because this double here is not part of the popcorn doubles. So you're going to just watch that. I'm going to work 5 doubles for the popcorn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more is 5. So 5 doubles for the popcorn. And now you really need to count when you come back, because you've got this chain 2 here, or the chain 3, and then the double crochet. So these 2 stitches don't count. And then this is the first double of the popcorn. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So don't come back to this double because that's one too many. And then close the popcorn. There we go. And now we need to do 2 more doubles. So after the popcorn in the same space. So that's 1, and 2. So you've got 2 doubles popcorn, 2 doubles in the corner. The straight edge. We're going to skip the first stitch. That's actually really nice because it's really hard to get into that stitch because this stitch is kind of falling underneath the corner. Then come to the second stitch and work a double crochet in there. So that's your double. The next stitch should be the front post stitch, and we're going to work a popcorn in that stitch. Let's grab my yarn tails here to the side, and so there's a popcorn in here, so that means 5 doubles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 doubles. Now come back to this first double of the 5 and close the popcorn. We're going to continue and work 184 doubles, and that means 1 on every stitch, and that is up until the marked stitch. So in the next stitch, a double crochet. So this is 1, number 2 here is on the popcorn, and this is then 3 just after the popcorn. I need quite a few more, and this is 4. And actually I need 180 more. So I'm going to work a double crochet on every stitch until I'm to the marked stitch. Remember, you've got a marked stitch on every edge. So this is the one on this edge. Well, until you're on the other side, you'll be on the marked stitch. 184 double crochets, and then I'll see you back. I'm almost to the other side. I've worked 182 stitches. I have 2 more doubles left, and the second last one falls here on the popcorn, and the last one falls on the marked stitch. So I'm going to work 1 more doubles here on the popcorn, and then the last one here is in the marked stitch. So this should be 184. Just going to remove the marker. And now we have 3 stitches left. On the next stitch, this is again a front post stitch, we work a popcorn. So 5 doubles in the front post stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 doubles. Open up the stitch, then come to the first of the 5, pick up the loop and pull through. You have 2 stitches left. We're going to skip the next stitch. That's this one. It's kind of hidden underneath the popcorn, and then come to your very last stitch and work a double crochet on there. There we go. Now we're to the corner again, and the corner is 2 doubles, popcorn, 2 doubles. So I'm going to work 2 doubles, so that's 1, 2, and now I work the popcorn, so now I work 5 more doubles and turn that into a popcorn. So that means this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doubles, and then you see there are still 2 left. Now those 2 are from the corner, and then pull through. I'm just going to make a little room because I need 2 more doubles in here next to the popcorn. That's 1 and 2. There we go. And this is the next corner made. Repeat on the next edge, so again skipping the first stitch, double, popcorn, and then 184 doubles. We'll go all the way around and close on your first stitch. That would be the chain 3 we started with. Close on there with the slip stitch. Round 87. Currently in the chain 3 from the previous round, and we're going to slip stitch to the popcorn, and then I'm going to change colors. You don't have to if you're following Deidre's colorway. So I'm just going to slip stitch into the double crochet and then slip stitch into the popcorn there, and I'm just going to use this slip stitch to change colors. This round we're going to be increasing stitches, but don't worry about that. We're first going to start with the corner. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. This is your first double, and then 2 more doubles here in the popcorn. So this is 1 and 2. So you have 3 double crochets in the popcorn. Chain 2, and now we're going to come to the next stitch, and that's that double crochet there just next to the popcorn, and work 3 doubles in there. This here is 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And this is your corner. So that chain 2 there is the corner space, and your corner is worked over 2 stitches. So that's the corner. For the straight edge, we're going to work a double crochet on the next 20 stitches, and immediately in the next stitch, so here's the first one, so work 20 double crochets. So this is 1, 2, number 3 here falls on the popcorn, work 20, this is 4, and 20. There you go, so 20 double crochets. Your last one falls above the popcorn, so you see it's not exactly in the popcorn stitch, but it falls above the popcorn. Now we're now going to start a little repeat unit that we're going to do until we're to the other side, and this is where we're going to be increasing a stitch, but don't worry about this, we'll decrease it later on again. I'm going to start by working a front post double treble to the left of the popcorn stitch into this double treble, into this front post treble here. This is to the left if you're right hand, and to the right if you're left handed. So twice over, so this is a double crochet, a treble crochet, a double treble, so it's 3 times yarn over, and then we're going to work a front post stitch here in this one, so it's to the left if you're right handed and to the right if you're left handed. And complete the stitches 1, 2, 3, 4 times, taking off 2 loops. We're now going to come to the other side of the popcorn and again work a front post double treble in this stitch here. So you're going to be framing the popcorn stitches. So 1, 2, 3 times yarn over, and now you're really going to have to fold your work to get around that stitch. Grab your yarn and take off 2 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. There we go. And while I'm taking off those loops, I'm really holding on to them, because then you get nice small stitches here at the top. I'll show you that again when we do this repeat. You're going to skip 1 stitch to the back, so only 1 stitch, and then work 7 doubles. So you see I'm skipping 1 stitch and now work 7 doubles, and this is where you're doing an increase, because you've worked 2 front post stitches but you're only skipping 1 stitch to the back, so that's why I'm saying you're doing an increase here. Now I'm working 7 doubles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and this is the repeat. So these 2 front post double trebles, skipping a stitch, and 7 double crochets. I'll show you these front post stitches again, and especially how I keep the stitches nice and small here at the top. See, they're roughly the same size as the other stitches, and that's what you're aiming for. So 1, 2, 3 times yarn over, then I bring these loops together and I really hold my finger onto them. Now come to the far side of the popcorn, pick up the loop, and now I'm taking off 2 loops at a time, and while I'm doing that I'm allowing this first loop to slip, but I'm definitely not allowing these last 2 loops to slip at all. So it's 1, 2, you see how I'm opening that first loop, but not the one that's closest to the edge of my hook. These 2 are vital. 2, and now I'm really holding on to everything with all my fingers, and then the last 2. And then this stitch is reasonably small here at the top. It will always open up a little bit, because it is such a long stitch, but this helps to keep it as small as possible. Now again, but now on the other side. So 1, 2, 3 times yarn over. I'm bringing all these loops together and pulling them tight. Hold my finger onto that. Fold your work to come around the popcorn, around the front post treble that's in front of the popcorn. Grab your yarn and then take off 2 loops. So it's 1. Again, holding on to these loops that are closest to the point of to the handle of your hook. 2, 3, and now I'm really holding on to them, and 4, there we go, and then fold them into place. Then skipping 1 stitch to the back, work 7 doubles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, come on, 4, this is 5, 6, and 7 again. There we go. And this is the repeat. You're going to repeat this until you have, I believe, 11 stitches left. So the 2 front post double trebles, and then 7 doubles, skipping that 1 stitch. And like I say, these, my stitches are roughly the same size here at the top, but these long stitches, they just open up. So don't stress too much about that. But I just showed you how, at least I try to keep them as neat as possible. So continue with this until you have 11 stitches left. I've just worked all of these repeats. I've worked it about 20 times, I believe. You can see, and this is where you end then with these 7 double crochets. At this point you should have 11 stitches left before the popcorn. So here's the popcorn stitch, that's the popcorn stitch, and then there are 11 stitches. So the popcorn stitch is number 12 in essence. What we're now going to do is we're going to work a double crochet on all of these 11 stitches. So that's 1, 2 until we have 11, 3, and the last one, 11. So 11 double crochets, and of course plus the 7 you'd already made. Your next stitch should be the popcorn stitch. You can see there the next stitch, there's the popcorn. We're now going to work 3 double crochets in that popcorn stitch. So 3 doubles. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So 3 doubles in the popcorn, chain 2, and then in the next stitch, so that's the stitch here after the popcorn, that stitch there, again 3 doubles. And this is your new corner. 1, 2, 3. So 3 doubles in there. And then this here is your new corner, and that's exactly the same as the corner we started with. So everything you've just done, so on your next 3 edges repeat that, and when you get to the beginning there'll be the chain 3 at the beginning, close on that stitch with a slip stitch, and then you can actually also fasten off. Round 88. I have a new color yarn on my hook, and this time it's actually because the pattern says so. And we're going to start in any chain 2 corner space, and we're going to start there with a standing single crochet. With the slip knot on my hook, work a single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet. There we go. And this is the first corner. We're going to skip the first stitch. So for the straight edge, that very first stitch, we're going to skip that there, and then come to the second and work a single. So see, I'm skipping that first stitch. So that's 1, and this is the first of 22. So you're going to be working quite a few stitches, and then that will bring you up to where you worked those 2 long stitches, those front post trebles from the previous round. So I'm going to work 22 single crochets. 22. There you go. So I've now worked 22 single crochets. And if you look where you're at the moment, you'll see that your next 2 stitches are these 2 front post double trebles, these very long stitches that you've crossed. Now, in those two we're going to work a single crochet two together. Remember, in the previous round you've basically increased a stitch, so now we're going to decrease that stitch again. So this is the one that's in the bottom, so you're just going to work them as they come. So pick up the first loop, then come to the second stitch, pick up a loop and take them off. So that was a single crochet two together, and now a single crochet again in the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then you're at a cross again, these two front post double trebles, and on those two again a single crochet two together. So the first loop and the second loop, and take them off. And this you're going to repeat until you reach the last of these two front post double trebles. So again, 7 single crochets and then a single two together. Repeat this until you've reached your last double trebles. I've almost worked all of the repeats. Here are 7 single crochets, and I still need to do the last single crochet two together. 1, 2, there we go. At this point you should have 21 stitches left to the corner, and you're going to work a single crochet on all of those. So this is the first of 21. 2, 3, so a single crochet on every stitch to the corner. And then the last one is 21. So 21 single crochets. Brings me to the corner, and the corner gets the same stitch as always. So a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet in this corner. And now you're at the same point we were when we started. So everything you just done, repeat on your next 3 edges. When you get back to the first stitch, close with a slip stitch, and you can leave your yarn attached if you're following my colorway, and also if you're following Deidre's colorway. Round 89, last round of this part. Currently in the first single crochet from the previous round with a slip stitch. We're just going to move to the chain 2 corner space with another slip stitch. The corner is going to be 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 doubles. Now my first double is going to be a chain 3, that's 1 double, then another double crochet, that's 2, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. 1 and 2, and that's your first corner. This round is very relaxing. It's all just double crochets. It's important to skip the first stitch. So this single crochet, skip that stitch, then come to the second. This is going to be your first double crochet for the edge, because you're going to work 1 double on every edge. And when you get to your corner, you work a new corner, which is again going to be 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 doubles, and repeat that all the way round. Remember to skip the first stitch on every edge. When you get back to the beginning, close on this chain 3, and you can also fasten off and work away your yarn tails. And when you're all finished, this is what your work looks like. I have blocked my blanket at the end of this part because the edges were really curling over, and that just helps them to be nice and flat. But you don't have to. This is just something I've done for my blanket. brings us to the end of this video. I hope to see you next time for the next part.